Hey guys, it's been a while. I feel like I say that at the beginning of every single video now, but it has been. I think the last video that I uploaded was this summer sometime, maybe in the beginning of it. Um, Man, it had to have been like June because I think I had just gotten married. Anyway, so yeah, that was the thing. If you missed that, I got married. If I talk with my hands a lot, he's Italian, so I'm gonna blame him, even though it's totally me and probably my rising sign. But anyway, um, let's see. A few little updates. So yeah, I kind of went into like seclusion. Um, I have been dealing with a lot of grief over my dad's death and a lot of life changes in 2015 that happened for me, and getting used to that. Um, Kind of reprioritizing my entire life and figuring out if where I'm putting my energy is where it really needs to be, or where, more importantly, I want it to be, or feel it should be. So that was a lot of it. Um, and yeah, so I'm hoping that this challenge, which I'm about to explain, will help me kind of get back into making videos a little bit, because I do miss being on here and talking to everyone, because I only talk to maybe a few of you consistently nowadays. Um, for those of you that don't know, I'm an admin on the YouTube Pagans group on Facebook, and they have come up with a challenge uh, for all the YouTubers. And so the hashtag for this is hashtag YT Pagan Challenge. And basically, what it is that there is a question every week for the entire year. So you have a week to make a video, or you can skip some, or you can do a couple in one video, whatever the hell you want to do, whatever floats your boat. But I don't know. I kind of like it. I think it's a good way to kind of slide back in gradually to making videos, or at least try to. So, with that said, anyone who wants to do this, all you have to do is just insert the hashtag YT Pagan Challenge in your video, or in your tags, obviously, for your video. And that way, anyone who is doing it too, we can just look up that tag and we can see each other's videos and share and learn about each other and kind of build more of a community, hopefully. So, first question of the week is, how did you find your path? For those of you who don't know, my father was Southern Baptist and my mother is pagan or earth based, however the fuck you want to say it. And she was always a seeker anyway. She was always someone who was asking a lot of questions and wasn't necessarily satisfied with a lot of the answers she got. And so, growing up, she was already reading a lot of stuff like that, and, just in that groove. But I don't remember my own personal interest in it until, well, I think I always saw the world in kind of an animistic way, in a way that, spirit is in everything. I just didn't have the words for it. But with that said, I think I don't really remember studying for things myself or being like, yeah, this is a thing. This is my thing. Until I was probably about like 11 or 12, after doing ancestry studies and like looking up our genealogy and stuff, and getting into a lot of the native that's in us. We started going to a lot of powwows. In Virginia, there are a lot of tribes. I feel like it was much more concentrated than here in Ohio. I could be totally wrong. Maybe I'm living in a dead spot here. It is the Black Swamp, but it felt much more uh, alive and culturally rich in terms of Native Americans there. And it would, you know. But anyway, um, I remember dancing in powwows, and with powwows, there's a certain direction that you enter the circle from. There's a certain direction you dance. There are certain ways that you dance depending on what kind of dancer you are. There are certain things you do and don't do. Um, there are times where you raise your fans in respect, called honor beats. And it was a very ritualistic practice. I mean, it is. It's a ritual. Um, and so I think doing that uh, really made me actively get into things and look up religions and more specifically just spirituality. And so that is a very earth based uh, section of spirituality. And so it naturally just kind of sprang into other things that are earth based, or eventually the term that I found was pagan. Not saying that natives are necessarily pagan, unless you go by the like non-Abrahamic definition. I'm not even getting into that freaking argument. But anyway, um, that kind of led me in as a teenager to Wicca and um, like all the different branches off of that alone. And then, so you know, your Wicca and your Strigeria, traditional witchcraft, like just all the kind of, what's the word, hodgepodge of things, like clusterfuck. There you go. Those are the words because I'm graceful and eloquent. Clusterfuck of different religions and spiritualities. And just, I was really into reading up and learning on it. And like, I remember I went through like an Egyptian phase where I was really into that. And it just, I don't know. When I was younger, I think the first god and goddess that I ever worked with was actually Persephone and Horus. Um, yeah. And I don't know. I think I was drawn to them because of the balance in them. Irony. But yeah. So there was that. And I don't know. I just kind of started doing that. And then meanwhile, all of that is happening. But then my mom is holding drummings, like meditative drummings, more shamanic in style. And they're drummings for like peace and things like that, or, you know, healing for friends or whatever. And then we're also part of a group that did coming of age ceremonies or commitment ceremonies, milestones, rituals for that. We'd actually like go to someone's home and facilitate it for them. And they could like invite their family or friends or whoever they wanted or didn't want there. And we would carry it out for them. And and yeah, so there was that. And then also my mom and I were taking workshops and classes and stuff. So, you know, Reiki, tea leaves, things like that, you know, going and learning things. So I guess, like, for me, I feel like I was really blessed to have a mom that wanted to learn, who was always eager about knowledge. Um, and I guess that's what you get when you put two Capricorns together, right? But yeah, so that's kind of how I found it. And then so through that and all through when I was younger, I didn't really pick a title because I felt like if I did, it'd be almost like pigeonholing me in, so I couldn't actually like look and learn about everything. I was a teen. I don't feel like that now. But you know, I think there's a difference between learning about it and believing it. you can have a personal gnosis, your personal beliefs, and then you can have something that you just find really interesting and you like to learn about. Doesn't have to be the same thing. And then, so it wasn't until I was older that I was like, you know what? Fuck it. This is what I am. And so I have come to call myself a hereditary witch. Not so much in the sense of like the bloodline passed down, here's my credentials kind of thing, as it is just, it's like you take our heritage, right? Our ancestors, and then you take our own knowledges and experience that differs with every generation that comes in. So it's a growing thing, and or a living faith, I guess you'd call it. And then you also take the fact that there's a lot of healers in my family. There is a lot of people who will have like prophetic dreams, or like for me, I get messages in dreams for people, and maybe it's someone I haven't talked to in like a fucking year or months. Alan can vouch for that. And it'll be out of nowhere, but I need to deliver it. So, I'm not saying we're like the grand poobah of anything. I'm just saying it's kind of like a big mixing pot that makes my family my family. And my beliefs my beliefs. So I say hereditary witch because I own the word witch. I don't own it, but you know what I mean. I claim it for myself. And hereditary because it is something that has to do with the different generations in my family and has to do with my roots in a lot of ways. A lot of ways. I'm very heavy into ancestral work. So, actually, one of the things that happened this year that I'm super, super happy about is that I was finally passed down my great grandmother's cauldron. And it's like, and beautiful and rusty and full of character. And I love it. And man, has that thing kicked up the energy and the activity in the house. But yeah, I'm that is how I found what I found. And then also taken to consideration too, I also studied British hereditary tradition for a brief time there. And just, the studying part never stops, the learning never stops, and if it does, then like what's the point? So yeah, that's my answer. It's a 13-minute answer, and I apologize for that. And if I coughed or I sound kind of raspy in this, I apologize too, because I'm just getting over a cold. And I'm loopy because I woke up at 3 a.m. and had to be to work at 4, and I'm running on like 2.5 hours sleep. So, but I made this video, and that's a start, right? I'm starting off 2016 with a video at least. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to follow along with the questions and keep up. I might have to shove a few together or something, or cluster them, but I'm really going to try and do it, and you guys should too if you're interested. The group is YT Pagans on Facebook. If you look it up, like you can say YouTube Pagans, but the actual physical URL is YT Pagans. So yeah, I have people messaging me now to get the hell off of this. So I love your faces, and I miss you guys, and do a video so I can see your story too. All right, bye.